Hello, hope you are all doing well. So, now we will discuss about a very important and very interesting part of writing process, and this is very important for independent writing also. We talked about language and content side of the writing process. What is left? You have cooked a good meal, but now it is time to present that meal. You are done with your work? Not really. What is left? Surface mechanics in writing. Handwriting, neatness, alignment, spacing, etc. are referred as surface mechanics. Now, while you were reading through it, you thinking, these are not really related with thinking, right? But as we will go through these topics, we will understand how a little bit of salt, extra or less, can ruin the entire plate of food. Surface mechanics is very much of that. If you have decorated your plate and you haven't done a proper job with it, the entire food may get ruined. Like all development, early writing days in childhood are very important. And as you can see, all these qualities, right? Handwriting, neatness, alignment, spacing, these ideas are still important, still relevant, and this makes your content into a better writing. How? We will discuss about it. Now, when we start writing, we just scribble. The very first thing, when a child is presented with maybe not presented with anything, child just picked it up something and start scribbling. And then from scribbling is absolutely any presence of cognitive issue is absent there. But in drawing, the child starts to make certain form, and that is very much related with imitating letters. Child draws and then child draws letters, and that is imitating letter. Child doesn't know what is a P and what is a D and how P is different from D, but the child draws, and often they interchange P with D. And then this understand the progression from left to right and the spatial relations also. And then they understand the classifying, categorizing and discrimination of different alphabets. And in maturity, they develop finger movement, eye-hand coordination. So this is what leads into a person ready to able to write. All these again just goes through them, that a person is developing mere mechanics, absolutely mere mechanics, but how these mere mechanics will affect the higher cognitive issues. Just simply take the understanding of spatial relations and how this will affect later on. Just remember these things and now move on. Handwriting, this is a conscious participation in writing process, right? So, development of handwriting is when you go through certain stages, because all of us has gone through it. In our early childhood days, you are asked to write in a certain way so that you develop a good handwriting skill. And we often get compliments or we often get scolded for our handwriting. What are the stages of developing handwriting? Placement of writing surface, that is very important for development of handwriting. Then arm wrist placement, these are actually taken care of and should taken care of, otherwise you won't able that skill to have good handwriting. These are requirements. Then holding pen and pencil, and then developing right grip. Just see the relation. First the surface, then the placement, then holding pen and pencil, and only then you can have a good grip. You can't ask a child that hold the pencil this way. You have to make the child understand that where to put the hand and how to put the hand so that the child have a good grip. And then use of space. Very, very, very important. You give a child a blank paper and you make her or him write. The child will start to use the space. That entire blank paper is the space for her or him. After a certain time, after certain practices, if the practices were done properly, the child will grow an idea about that space, that where to put the margin, where are the gaps, how much gap should be left between alphabet and between two words. This will be a child's choice, but with guided practice, that choice can be influenced. You can make the child practice how to use the blank paper. Now comes the most interesting part, at least I find it very interesting in surface mechanics, that is spacing. Understanding space in paper. Just one blank paper, you give it to the entire class of 40 people and you ask them to write the same line. You will see that all the 40 people have used the space in 40 different ways, because their idea of spacing is very different. This is a individually different quality in a human being, the idea of space. And this is where aesthetic senses are grown. Very, very, very important, because this will lead to understanding later on that will be used in alignment sense, in the sense of artistic qualities, even beautification in your household thing, because you start to see space and you start to see elements and how to fill up that space, and you understand the absence of element in a space is important and how important it is. So complexity in meaning will lead to different kind of spacing and use of space. Now this is very important, that even while you are writing something, the content of that writing will make you use space differently. We have all done that, but we never thought about it, because we have grown this skill very unconsciously, rather, not even subconsciously. You will understand the importance of sizing of letter and how the slanting is used, and also spacing of letters within word and spacing between words. Of course, all this will result into legibility, which is very important for a good content. And finally, in today's world where we heavily use computer, sense of alignment. Even computer has the alignment setting, but it is you who will decide. And that is the quality of your sense of aesthetics, right? This is where alignment is very important. We all know that space is marked by paragraph alignment. Writing style also has unique alignments which may vary from lawful to chaotic. In handwriting, there are certain alignments which are very meticulous, then there are some which are chaotic, but in some that chaos works. And in our computer generated content, when we are talking about, we must have the sense of alignment, but we must have the sense of individual taste also. Some of the presentations are so beautiful and we say that, wow, why yours is looking so much better than mine. I have written only the same thing, because the use of space and how alignment is done through that use of space. Alignment matters most to the readers for a proper reading rhythm. We never thought about it, but it is very true. And then I leave you with one pertinent question. Just think about it and maybe we will discuss in the other platform. Do you know that alignment is a social, cultural and historical construct? There is another part of mechanic, that is neatness, quality of order, tidy and clean. We kind of understand this, right? That neatness is a personality construct, reflects through various areas of life and also in your writing skill, obviously. Conventionally seen as a reflection of greater organization skill. This is debatable, but there are some researchers which try to correlate these two. An instrument of writing, surface quality, handwriting style, etc. affects neatness in handwriting. Of course, in neatness, it may sound very easy, but actually your highest value, that is sense of aesthetics, is tested here. So all these leads to a good grasp on the surface mechanics, and only through proper surface mechanics you actually can plate your writing in a good dish. Finally, we will say that communication through writing is preferred as it allows for standardization, leading to more effective interaction. So, as we are taking care of so many parts of communication only in the writing form, so you can attain a higher standard and you are also able to effectively communicate.